actions. And I want to open this up, and I want to begin first with Dr. Anand Ranganathan. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, I'm sorry, my vocabulary is limited, and therefore I will say that I fear that there has been an attempt to normalize Hindu phobia. Am I wrong?
Good evening, Rahul. No, absolutely you're not wrong. First of all, I want to thank you and Times Now for raising this important issue. This is a shocking case of communal bigotry, and yet again has elicited little outrage. And the reason for that is that the religions are the wrong way around. If a Muslim instead of a Hindu man had been beaten by a Hindu instead of a Muslim mob, they'd have cried fascism and Hindu Taliban are here from here to Timbuktu. We have seen this play out almost every day, Rahul, since 2014, haven't we? By these gangrenous selectivists who claim they speak truth to power, but power for them is always Modi. Even when hate crimes happen in non-BJP ruled states, I ask you, what if in the Palghar lynching, instead of a saffron-clad sadhu, the victim was a skull-cap-wearing, sherwani-clad, bearded Maulana, brought out by the UP police instead of the Maharashtra police and gifted to the lyncher with a BJP minister looking on? Would the media still have maintained it as a non-communal crime? Hell no. NYT and WAPO would have run out of sepoy space. You cannot cure these propagandas, Rahul. They are like the rust beach. Their every drop of blood spawns more of the same. They have been silent on more than 175 Muslim mob hate attacks on Hindus and Muslims over the past 2 years, including in Ranchi, where a Muslim mob segregated. Yes, Rahul, segregated bus passengers based on their religion before wanting to set it on fire. None of these attacks elicit any outrage. Right from the fake church attacks narrative and running selective hate trackers to multiple stories of fake Jai Shri Ram slogan triggering, they have perfected selective outrage. So we know who Akhlaq was. But do we know who was Banu or Khitaram Bhil or Sawant Rathod or Vidhu Jain or Ayub or Farooq or Bharat Yadav, who was lynched after being called a kafir? Because for them, violence is mainstream, always by the BJP. Never when the BSP selects as a candidate a man who offered 51 crores to anyone who behaves Charlie Hebdo, a journalist. Or when Mehbooba Mufti selects a rape accused as a candidate. Or when the rape accused bishop is welcomed on streets of Jalandhar by church officials. Or when the ex-vice president presents a reward to the PFI chief. Or when a Congress MLA says he won't work for Dalits as they didn't vote for him. Or when Congress Harish Raghav says those who kill cows have no right to live in India. Or when an SP legislator slaps a woman entering Haji Ali. Or when a Congress legislator demands death for Kamlesh Tiwari. Or when Yasin Malik is celebrated by Manmohan Singh. Or when tens of thousands collect for funerals of terrorists. Then it is not mainstreaming of violence. Rahul, please give me 30 seconds. You see, you keep on demonizing only one community, one religion, one ideology. You keep on being selective, and sooner or later, it comes back to bite you. This is exactly what Dr. Ambedkar warns us against. But they quote him selectively too, because if they quoted his views on religion other than Hinduism, they will hate him even more than they hate Modi.
Whichever way you want to, Tehseen Poonawala, but you can't fool us. Dr. Ranganathan wants to respond before I open this up to Guru Prakash, Rahul Ishwar, and hopefully Mr. Kharikur Rahman.
Very quick rebuttal to my good friend Tehseen. Tehseen, you know you're treading on very thin ice because of the following points. Number one, I gave you concrete instances. As you know, until 2019, I was maintaining a very painful Twitter thread that was 250 tweets long that meticulously documented all those attacks by Muslim mobs, attempted lynching on Hindus, Dalits and non-Dalits. And the reason for doing that was none other that all those attacks never elicited any outrage. You know it. You know the selectivity. I took
six cases to the Supreme Court of Hindus being attacked. In my case, 13 cases are documented. 6 were Hindus, 6 were Muslims. Just for your knowledge.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
Yes.
Let Dr. Ranganathan finish.
Yes. Tehseen, you are an exception if you did that. If you do not indulge in selectivity, I'm afraid you are an exception, not only in India, but also specifically in your party. Now, Rahul mentioned about Rajasthan and all the crimes that are happening, not only hate crimes, but, rape, criminality. Selectively, Congress is highlighting that. Now, let us talk about outrages as well. Did you ever condemn Harish Rawat, who was then the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, when he said, those who kill cows have no right to live in India? Show me the condemnation by Rahul Gandhi of Harish Rawat. लेकिन जैसे ही बीजेपी वाला कोई कहता है ऐसे तो वो चढ़ गए, हिंदुत्व आ गया, तालिबान आ गए, ये फासिज्म आ गया. So the point
Dr.
of the matter
Ranganathan,
is
let me bring it much closer to home. 1 second. Let's bring in Khaliqur Rahman. Okay.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. Okay, doctor. 10 seconds. Fine. 10 seconds.
No, I mean, it heartens me to see that when he claims that he is objective, he is not selective, but I'm afraid his party members or a lot of members belonging to his party are definitely not objective or as objective as Tehseen is. Let me give you one example. P.C. George from Kerala, he was the chief whip of Kerala Legislative Assembly from 2011 to 15, Congress. Quote him, I am quoting him. No one has doubt that the nun, I'm talking about the incident where the bishop raped the nun, that the nun is a prostitute. 12 times she enjoyed it and 13 times it is rape. This is what P.C. George said. Tehseen, show me the condemnation by Rahul Gandhi or P.C. George. Show me.